that. Oh, crayfish. Oh, hi, baby. Look at you. Aren't you just pretty? Longtime followers might remember I came here, I guess, last year because the camp operator forgot to pull out this dock out of the water, and then the winter storm damaged the chains that hold that dock in place. The chains go through this little thing, this little tab right down here, and then so the chain broke and they lost it or whatever it was. So I had to go and come down. I got paid for that dive because I had to come down and recover the chains because they couldn't find them. So now this is the way it's supposed to be done during the winter, is they remove the chain, put float on them so they don't lose them, and then they bring this dock out of the water so it doesn't get damaged in a winter storm. They do that for all of the several of the boat ramps here at Entrance Bay, which is that way. Incidentally, that's where Clayton is right now. Hi, Clayton. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Henry. I am back at Maple Bay at Cultus Lake. Pacific Pilsner, Cleaner Lakes. Oh, yeah. Feeling warm in my nice jacket from Pacific Pilsner. So, a few things happening here at the lake. So at Entrance Bay, and this would be a video, one or two videos prior to this one. What happened was, over time, the boat ramp got basically damaged from either storms, but more likely from boat users power loading the boat, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently people, when they load their boat, ski boats, onto the trailer, they obviously throttle and then get onto the boat trailer. So over time, the wash from the propeller ended up blowing out the ground that's under the gravel or what have you, underneath the concrete pads that they have that basically acts as a boat ramp. So they're all over the place. And so last dive that I did here, I went and surveyed the boat ramp because they have to repair it because it is a public boat ramp that belongs to BC Parks. So I came out to do survey that for them, and then so they need to know what's happening underneath this boat ramp right behind me. So this is Maple Bay. So this is part of the repair process, but they just need to know what it looks like underneath because they have no way of documenting that. And just from looks here, it actually looks like very, very similar kind of boat ramp structure. So we shall find out. So I'm going to go for a dive, and I will document what I can right here, and then go get some trash out. So there you go. See you guys after the dive. So I begin this dive by dropping in right at the boat ramp, seeing as the primary purpose of this particular dive is to grab footage of the boat ramp itself so BC Parks can figure out how to effect repairs. So it's really important for me to grab this footage first, and then I can actually move on to collecting trash. So this boat ramp turned out to be quite different. BC Parks had not known this prior to this video, so they've already received this footage quite some time ago. And these are not the same kind of concrete slabs, so they can't do the repairs the same way. These slabs are quite buried. They're not as broken. I did find a couple of pieces further down, and I don't really know if these were attached at one point or perhaps they have broken off. I don't really know because I can't really see anything that is below that gravel bit, so I don't know if there's more pieces underneath that, and there's just way too much gravel for me to move by hand. So anyways, got some decent footage there, and moved on. There's the chain actually that I had to go find last year. It wasn't very hard to find. BC Parks just could not, or the contractors could not actually recover it. So I grabbed my scooter and headed down deeper into the water. I think the deepest part of my dive was just roughly 70 feet or so, maybe a little bit less. And you can see here is actually quite silty. This is just the start of my dive, so I'm still roughly like maybe around 40 feet or so. 46 feet. So you can see here this is very, very silty, and the reason being is this boat ramp is just around the corner from where the major slide happened a few years ago from the atmospheric river that came through the lower part of BC. And BC Parks, the Maple Bay campground got really washed out pretty bad. So once I drop down to my maximum depth, the visibility gets pretty poor. Not really sure why that is for this section of the lake, but 49 feet here is my depth. And oh, by the way, this is why. So this video is actually quite a few dives ago. I've since actually replaced the that little mount that you see at the tip of my scooter where the compass is mounted, because I pretty much broke that off. And the reason is because when I move forward to retrieve trash, I'll just drop my scooter and it just slams into the ground and it bumps along. It doesn't slam, but it gets kind of bumped along the ground, and it actually broke my camera mount off of the scooter, so I've since replaced it. I think 2 videos from now you'll actually see the new camera, and as well as the underwater camera, as well as compass mount on the scooter. So anytime you see me sort of moving my hands, sort of flexing my fingers, is because I'm trying to get some blood flow to my fingers because it's just so cold. I'm already heading back up to my turning point. I'm still sort of heading away from my drop point. I did drop down to, I think, probably a little over 50 feet, and then I angled upwards, getting shallower and shallower, and then at some point, I think around 17 minutes or so, I decided to turn around and angle back towards my starting point. So as you see here, the light is getting brighter and brighter, and that's because I'm getting shallower and shallower. Doing my safety stop at 17 feet, about a minute and a half left in my safety stop there, and flexing my fingers trying to get some blood flow back. And that's really the dive. Ended up pretty close to my starting point, so that was good navigation on my part. Yay, Henry. That was a good dive. A little cold. Ooh. All right, as you guys know, I do not like diving cold. All right, that was a short dive, roughly a half hour or so, and didn't find a lot of trash because this isn't like a party area, so I had to scooter quite a ways. I scooted like 17 minutes that way, and then came back shallower and went this way. Picked up a few things, not a lot. I'll show you in a second here. I'm just going to warm up a tiny bit. My face is frozen, can hardly talk. I'm so glad it's not 1 degree out. Right now it's like, I think 7, but there's no sun. It's all overcast and everything, so I'm not getting any solar warmth. Okay, had to go warm up. £19.5 pounds. All right, 19.5 pounds of trash. Not too shabby, considering I didn't stay in the water for very long. I think I said 27-minute dive. That's what I said. There was a tire down there, but it was so buried that it was going to be very difficult for me to get out. So I did not, and it was kind of at the beginning of my dive as well too, so I didn't bother. But, oh, crayfish. Oh, hi baby. Look at you. Aren't you just pretty? I'm just going to put you back in the water. All right, there we go. 1 crayfish. 19.5 pounds of trash, and here's what I got. Looks like we got 8 glass bottles. Some of it kind of old, but nothing really worthwhile. The Pepsi and Coke bottles are 7. I think this one's a 7-Up. Is kind of useless because they're just completely stained and all the logo's gone and everything. This bottle's kind of interesting. I don't know what that is. The one with all the ribs on it. 1 glass fruit jar. 1 pair of eyeglasses, child's shoe, sun hat, and 16 beer cans. There we go, folks. That was a nice little dive, and kind of came out to do the job for BC Parks, which is actually doing the documentation for the boat ramp, boat launch there. So that's all done, and got a bit of trash out all at the same time. Beautiful day. Tiny bit of trash. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for Pacific Pilsner for sponsoring the dive, as well as Lime Bike Share. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, folks.